Hey guys, it's Lil Nogi Tales here, and today I'm gonna be reviewing Kuroko no Basket Season 3, Episode 1. It's one of my favorite sports mangas and animes, number 2 or 3, behind Slam Dunk and tied with Ippo. But anyway, the hype for this season carried all throughout after Season 2, and it looks like it's gonna meet expectations. And we get, in the openings and endings, we kind of get little previews of what's gonna happen. I mean, we see shots of Shutoku, um, Seirin, Kaijo, and Rakuzan just balling. Those are the teams that are contending this year. I mean, so far in the Winter Cup, because Aomine and Murasakibara got eliminated already, and yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a promising season. So it starts off basically with a summary or a recap of what happened so far. The previous matches they had against Murasakibara, Aomine, Hanamiya. I don't think they mentioned that, but and Midorima. And it's not that surprising, since they did it kind of last season too with the reporters scouting and looking at the different players. But yeah, um, I kind of enjoyed it since it was good seeing those animations again. With the zone animation or the a little recap of Shutoku's match. It kind of reminds you of what happened so far because it's been a long time from last season to this season, and viewers kind of forget sort of what happened. But in the second half is when the story progression really happens, and the first thing we see was Kagami. Well, Kuroko's trying to tell Kagami of what happened. I mean, not what happened, but like to make up with Tatsuyu because they kind of broke their bonds as being brothers over a game, which is pretty silly and pretty stupid. And Kuroko is telling Kagami, yeah, it's pretty damn stupid. So just go make up with him already. And he goes to and they introduce Haizaki, one of the former starters for Teiko, and yeah, he made quite the debut. And from what we see, he's a bona fide delinquent man, just punching, going wild everywhere. Beating up Tatsuya, and he doesn't make any sense for me. He was hitting on Alex like a minute ago, and then the next minute, he's just strangling her unless he has like some sort of choking fetish. I don't see how that makes any sense. And like a lot of characters in the show, he doesn't really seem to have a care for basketball or an ulterior motive for playing basketball. We see kind of this lack of motivation through Morisakibara, Hanamiya, and Naomine before. I mean, Morisakibara was good, and he only played because he was good, but he didn't enjoy the sport itself, or that's what we assumed until he proved that he actually did love the sport of basketball. By going into the zone, and that's one of the requirements. And also, at the end when they lost, he obviously teared up, cried. It shows how much he loves the game. Aomine, he was just bored, so he became more lazy, and he really didn't have any motivation for playing since the only one who can beat me is me. But Seirin kind of, put him in his place. Well, not not like that per se, but kind of gave him that fire again, that drive. And for Hanamiya, he's playing more for a sadistic way. He just wants to basically ruin people's dreams. I mean, he gets off on that. And basketball, I guess, is just another tool for doing that, with his dirty plays. And this guy, he claims again that, I have no care for basketball. I don't give a fuck. And he has the dreads going on, and he's trying to punch anyone he sees. Doesn't care if he gets disqualified. He says he's just playing to be bored. And the main reason he came back from basketball after being forced to retire by Akashi, which kind of shows Akashi's authority. I mean, we see that before, with the scissors and just how he was able to assemble his whole team despite like their different personalities. He was able to make this guy so wild and so thuggish retire. So it shows like his absolute authority over people and how much respect he demands. But he was forced to retire and he came back because he wants that title of a miracle just from the other, five generation of miracles. Because as soon as he left, Kisei joined, and they became the generation of miracles. And it's kind of that fame, and it's kind of, I guess he got a little regret from leaving, since that title is a pretty cool one to have, and he just wants to take that seat back from Kisei, and he was a starter before in Teiko nonetheless. So we can assume he has pretty good skills. And also, Kisei mentioned before, I mean, he mentioned before, um, that Kisei has never beaten him once. And we can assume this is true since Kisei didn't really have any objections and it looked like he was, you know, speaking the truth since Kisei didn't say anything. He was just focused on trying to beat Haizaki. And yeah. So he's basically like a disrespectful thug. And after that, we kind of get a preview of the matchup between Haizaki and Kisei to see who will face Sarian in the next game. And we get a shot of Kisei's ankle, and if you remember, he injured it a while against Aomine. When they faced off, and Aomine injured his elbow too, but Aomine doesn't practice really, so it healed in time. But for Kisei, and some athletes have this problem when he's trying to work hard, but he has an injury and kind of builds on that, and we see that it's still bothering him a little bit, or we don't know how severe it is, but it's still kind of bothering him to this point in the Winter Cup. So that's probably going to be a factor. And also, as I mentioned before, the fact that he's never beaten Haizaki before, that could come. I mean, we're just trying to guess what Heizaki's abilities are. But yeah, I think that was basically the whole episode, and that's gonna be it, I think. And next episode, we're just gonna see the match of Kisei versus Haizaki, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see how they animate, from the manga. I want to see how they show it. I'm pretty hyped for next episode. So, Little Nogi's Ills here, and thanks for watching.